Hello and welcome to our channel MarshStream, your public performance broadcast platform. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artists of MarshStream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website at themarsh.org for all upcoming live performances. Now enjoy the show.
My family tree. My dad drafted it 25 years ago. It was a school project for my nephew. Dad became an electrical engineer after being a radio man during the war. So his tree was a circuit diagram, organized bottom to top. The signal starts with my grandson's name in a box and flows upward through T-junctions of marriages and children, long horizontal branches of uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters, then shoots up, is vertically conducted to our ancestors. Bold lines connect us. My dad gave each of us, his 8 kids, a copy of the tree with addendums, letters, newspaper clippings, all neatly stapled to this treasure that almost didn't happen. One name floats to the top. Captain Joseph Elziar Bernier, pardon my French. Born 1852, died 1934, Lillet, Quebec. Oh, here's a newspaper clipping my dad saved from when he was a kid. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Captain Joseph Bernier of Lillet, Canada, became a captain of his own ship at 17, commanded 109 different vessels, and made 257 voyages, totaling over 483,660 miles. My dad could not connect this captain to our family using bold lines. Instead, broken lines connected us, parts of names, empty boxes. In the same way, the ambassador to Mongolia was listed on our family tree, and that felt doubtful. So I'm not really sure if I'm related to this captain either. And then when my dad gave us our family tree, it was the early 1990s, and I was working, believe it or not, at Ripley's, believe it or not. Oh, Ripley's is a museum on Fisherman's Wharf where unbelievable human facts are stored and displayed. I sat for hours at that register. Did I ever look that captain up? Oh, no. That tree was the past, and I was bosom deep into my 20s and not looking back. My dad was 3rd generation Coast Guard. His dad, my grandpa, damn it, come here, was a commander in the U.S. Coast Guard. When he was 80, he built his own ship, the Oceanic, a 42-foot wooden schooner. It took him 10 years. It was his dream to go up north and... Oh, I gotta tell you this part. My grandpa, he is standing at the door of his mother's house. He's in the U.S. Navy. He's 19, in port for the weekend, Quebec. He thinks this is his mother's house. He has an address. His mother left him when he was 2 years old, left her 3 young children in Michigan, and went back home to Quebec. He knocks at the door. No one answers. He sees a curtain move in a window. Hello? There are people behind the curtain. They are looking at him. Oh, bonjour! He flips through his French-English dictionary. Quelle church je cherche? I look for. Elizabeth Bouval's. Lizzie Bernier. Ma mère, my mother. A woman steps forward. She studies his face, his eyes, his nose. She puts her hand on her chest and turns away. Grandpa, Grandpa, I think we better come about, Grandpa. We're getting pretty close. Keep your lid on. I can see it. We'll make it. We'll make it. Oh, damn it, come here! Oh, damn it was my grandfather's cat. Can he see it? No, he's got cataracts. Dad says he can't see in the dark. 10 people enjoying evening time cocktails on their fiberglass sailboat glance up to see an old skipper and his 2 teenage grandsons waving at them from the deck of their burly wooden schooner. My brother runs to the bow of the ship and puts his body between the oceanic and the impending sailboat. My older brother, no! Pulls him to safety. The oceanic impales the stern of the sailboat. Martini glasses and fiberglass splinters spray in the air. Knees knock hard on the deck. And my grandpa real sorry I hit your boat.
Pulls out a stack of $100 bills he kept in a can. He lived through the Great Depression and starts counting.
Just stop me when you think it's enough. My brother, who as a teenager had raced between 2 ships, was turning 50 with 2 sons of his own. What could I get him for his birthday, his 50th? Then, like a lightning bolt, that captain, the one on our family tree, the Ripley's captain from Canada, the one we may or may not be related to, he could tell his sons about that captain. So I found our family tree, typed in the captain's name, and boom, there it was. A book. Joseph Elziar Bernier, Champion of Canadian Arctic Sovereignty by Marjolaine St. Pierre. The nose. He looks like my father, my brothers, me. Joseph Elziar Bernier was born in a small, busy seaport
Of Lillette, Quebec, and grew up swimming in the St. Lawrence River.
When he was 17, he became a sea captain and explored the northern Arctic islands, now Nunavut. At the turn of the century, this captain and his crew
Took possession of the whole of the Arctic archipelago.
from Hudson Bay to the Yukon and all the way up to the North Pole, doubling the size of Canada. Here, boy! When he was 13, he became a ship's boy on his father's 3-masted brigantine.
Here he is in 1865, Joseph Elziar Bernier, waving goodbye to his mother on his first voyage as crew.
To harden his son's gut against seasickness, his father tied him to the bow, lashed him to the windlass, and set sail through the hardest and highest peak waters. For 2 hours, Joseph vomited all over himself, over his new ship's boy uniform his mother had sewn for him. Huge wave rises, lifting the bow of the ship to its peak. The horizon shuts out in front of you. Then down the ship plunges, and up another wave. A wall of water pummels you, pounds you down underwater. The crew laughs. The ship pitches up again, washing off your breakfast. I bet you cried. I bet you stopped crying. I bet you did it. Harden your gut. You were 13. Yeah, we're related. You tied to the bow, a boy. This is our family. And so this boy in his seasick uniform becomes a man, a master mariner, and spends the next 50 years of his life navigating the globe, exploring the Arctic, and claiming the land, water, and people for the crown. Here he is, at 73, on his last expedition for Canada. A young nation? No, not a nation. Not a nation yet. But we are close, are we not? The Arctic expedition of 1925 had 3 primary goals: patrol the waters, affirming a Canadian presence in the north, resupply the police posts for the Mounties up north, and return Nakudla, an Inuit leader, to his small Arctic village, Pun Inlet, on Baffin Bay. Nakudla had been released from prison after serving 2 years for the murder of a white man. First Eskimo murder trial. Isn't that right, Captain? I remember reading about it in the papers. White man's law listened to with awe. You cannot always believe the words that it is you read, huh? Bill, when Nakudla arrives today, see the man, see his people. They are guardians of the North, deserving much better treatment than they have received. When Nakudla killed that son of a bitch, he did so as a leader of his camp. His family had been threatened. That bastard slashed his father with a knife, threatened to kill their dogs. And the people of his camp agreed upon consensus that that bad white man should be removed. As a leader, Nakudla acted. He is a member of this nation, Bill. Remember that when you meet Nakudla today. Nakudla and the Mounties will be arriving this afternoon. Nakudla will be traveling with us. He has been sick in prison. He is recovered now. And we are taking him home. Secure your transmitters, Bill. We leave at dawn. The pack ice waits for no man. Sir, a word, the ship's doctor. I need to discuss Nakudla's living quarters when he arrives here. If you will, I recommend that Nakudla is housed here in this whaleboat. It is secure, lashed to the deck, and can be covered with canvas to protect Nakudla from snow and ice. Our whaleboat? But why? He will be exposed to the elements. Out of an abundance of caution for the crew, Captain. He's in remission. Remission? Captain, Nakudla suffered from tuberculosis when he was in prison. He's in remission, but he's still presenting with respiratory symptoms. He needs to be quarantined on deck in this whaleboat. His own private quarters. Excuse me, sir? Sir, the Mounties, they're here, sir. Nakudla? Nakudla. Nakudla had lost a lot of weight. His face was gaunt, his hair short, his once sturdy stance diminished. But there he stood on the deck of the Arctic, a faint smile as he posed for the camera. He was going home. The captain consents to housing Nakudla on deck in the whaleboat, but wonders about the circumstances that brought Nakudla here. Nakudla's effects, as listed by the Royal Mounted Police. A ticket of leave from Stony Mountain Prison, May 8th, 1925. This was his release from prison for good behavior. $3.15 Canadian. A ring with 5 stones. Sheila Grant, the author of Arctic Justice, believes this ring may have been a gift for Nakudla's wife. That's it. That's the end of the list. From the records of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Nakudla is released from prison and immediately admitted to the Indian Hospital in Manitoba, where he is treated for an active case of tuberculosis. But in 6 weeks, he is discharged. He travels by train to Ottawa with a police escort and is given a room in Mountie headquarters in order to, and I'm quoting the report here, keep him quiet for health reasons. But he's already cured, isn't he? And free from the curiosity of the press. In Ottawa, he is evaluated by a government-appointed doctor who finds no signs of active tuberculosis, clinically or in the sputum test. His patient is free to travel. He does present with a rather low-grade cough associated with bronchitis. Nakudla is then escorted to King's Wharf, Quebec, where he boards the captain's ship, the Arctic, which is under government direction to take him home. What were Nakudla's thoughts on his voyage home? What did Nakudla say? The ship's doctor writes in his report that Nakudla's condition seemed to be improving. But as the ship heads further north and the weather worsens, snow and ice cover the whaleboat, and Nakudla's respiratory conditions continue to fall. The doctor binds Nakudla's chest, confines him to the whaleboat, and places him on a liquid diet. There is no record of what Nakudla said, save for one quote from the doctor's journal. Baffin Bay will be full of ice, and I will die before arriving home. With no record no mention of conversations with Nikudla in the captain's autobiography, the published writings of the crew, the biography of the ship's doctor. Nikudla's thoughts are his own. And all we have is our imaginings. Thank you.
Hey, come on back, Joan. Thank you for that. Thank you. Wow. Hi, everyone. I'm David Harada, the other half of the Monday Night Marsh team, and I thought we'd just chat a little with you, Joan, about this piece. Now, I'm not sure I have this right. This was created, what we just saw, the recorded version, the video version was created for the Montreal Fringe Festival, for a streaming version of that. So how did that come about? Had you entered it? Had you was it a case of you were going to Montreal and then COVID hit and then you created this version, or did you submit post-COVID and you knew you were going to create a digital version?
It's kind of a hybrid within a hybrid. So I've always intended to bring this story back to the captain's home province. And everything was set for the Montreal Fringe Festival this summer. And then of course, COVID hit and we had to change plans, but they were able to present it virtually. So it did play about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we have a slot for next year to be able to do the whole show in full, because it'll be about an 80-minute piece.
Right. Okay. Great. That's I had it in my head that you were both going to perform there and that you had, and I wanted to make sure I had that straight. So that's wonderful. So has the creation, you did such a beautiful job with this digital version, I have to say, creating this film. You had started with a piece of theater and you had to create a piece of film, and I think you've done it really beautifully. That there is a real kind of poetry to the imagery you've chosen, and the way you use the screen and the way you use the camera. So has this experience affected the way you want to present it theatrically then in Montreal?
Well, yes, I've really opened my eyes to, I mean, I know that film is certainly one venue, but Zoom is a whole other venue. Like if you go like this, you have like drag. So thankfully, because of David Ford and his excellent direction over the last year, or actually several years, but specifically on Zoom this last year, we've been working, and I now know a little bit more about how to use my eyes in some of this story. And my tendency as an actor is to jump around, on stage, and this has really caused me to kind of go smaller, but it's really been a wonderful experience to be able to build those small muscles. So I hope that will show up on stage. I think it will. And Rebecca Fisher has done a wonderful job with the staging when we were moving around in a big place, but now we've changed things around a little bit.
But I thought it was quite ingenious the way you were able to use the digital tools at your disposal to create a sense of bigness, kind of where necessary, to change scenes and bring us to the ocean and to the deck of the boat and above, at the surface and below. Cool. I thought that was really beautifully done.
Cool.
But it's exciting that you were able to create this now. For people to keep track of you and your work in the future, you have a website, yes?
Yeah, snakeandrod.org. Snake and Rod is my... Yeah.
I've just thrown the link there in the chat for anyone who'd like to follow your work in the future. And have you got anything else coming up in the future other than Montreal, either for this piece or any other work you'd like to?
I think that we're going to go back into developing it and taking it from an excerpt to... Okay, the big picture here is my kids are going back to school for the first time in 450 days. Not that I'm counting. And so when they go to school, I'll be able to think long thoughts and
Yes.
expand into the middle and end of this piece. Because in fact, last year we were almost finished with the piece. And now, because we are all different now as compared to before COVID hit, it's a different piece. So it'll be like jumping back into an ocean that feels familiar, but the temperature has changed quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's wonderful to hear. You can't put your hand in the same river twice, huh?
Oh, that's exactly right.
So, can you get? Would you be willing to share with us a little hint of how the focus has changed from your
Yeah.
pre-COVID version to now?
I'll try to be succinct. I think it will be. This is just sort of David and I's brainstorming. I think we're going less and less towards sort of a. I had an initial beginning that was more about me and my family in a more direct connection.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be going more towards, exploring what happens when you colonize a country and what happens to the people. And I think that's the direction we're moving towards.
I think that's great because I really felt that watching this, because you have such a fascinating family tree story that you start with, but it surprised me a little bit when you go into this other story, this colonizer and colonized story. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and I wanted to also mention that the proceeds for any work that we do in the future, and actually the proceeds from Montreal, are going to a food center, a community food center in Nunavut that helps hunters in the Baffin Bay Island area where Nakula lived to do sustainable hunting and bring it to what they call country food to the community center and teach people about how to prepare the food, and it helps support them. So this will be going back to them. So
Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. Well, just best of luck to you in these upcoming with Montreal.
Thank you.
And we'll be hoping to see more of this here live in the Bay Area, hopefully as things open up. So we hope you stay in touch with all of us on the work. And for everyone in the audience, if you know people who couldn't be here who would enjoy this, we will be putting up a rebroadcast version on our YouTube channel. So tell your friends, spread the word. And so we're really looking forward to being able to present that. And thank you again, Joan, for sharing this with us.
This has been awesome. And thanks, everybody. Stay well.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Again, break legs, Joan, in the future. Thank you again. Stay in touch, and everyone, take care of yourselves. Be well. We'll hope to see you soon here or live. So everyone have a great night.
Thank you to Brianna too, and to Luna.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Good night, Joan.
Bye.